Hello, I am playing CEDH today. This is the Narset Enlightened Exile list that got top 4 at the bonfire. I think I have something of a reasonable hand here. I've only played the deck for a second. I don't really know what it does. It seems like a value breach pile. Oh, you can't see that because my fat head's in the way. Let me move me. This is the commander. I clicked the wrong space. This is the commander. It just recasts cards from graveyards. I don't know if it does too much more than that. I might have kept a slow hand here. I don't have anything on 1. But on 2, oh boy, I'm gonna take some game actions. You believe me. We'll see what my opponents are on. Kinnan. Okay, we're gonna die to Kinnan. I've been playing Kinnan recently, and that deck is so fast and so good. It's gonna wreck my house. Also notably, Imposter Mech doesn't exist on Magic Online, so I am playing 1 Plains in place of Imposter Mech. So hopefully it doesn't come up this game. I'm pretty glad to have the Plains here. I don't know why, but I got it. Notably, this is my first game with the deck, and all I know about it is the things I can glean by looking at the deck list. So hopefully this hand isn't a terrible keep. The Greta player is having one heck of a start. Hey, got bailed out by this Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. Because this could have been a bad keep. No, I have a 1-drop, guys. I'm playing serious Magic. Kinnan is down to 4, which is lucky for me. For everyone, really. Kinnan's going Green Suns for 0. If he gets Dryad Arbor, I think that's kind of a cool piece. Yeah, I want to run this in my deck too for exactly that interaction, but I just feel like the Dryad Arbor in a lot of ways, and you wouldn't want to play it. So I kind of get to decide who I want to hit. I don't think Kinnan wants to trade off his Dryad Arbor to keep me from stealing a card from his library, and Kinnan runs a lot of fast mana, which I wouldn't mind, if I'm honest with you. CEDH is a graveyard deck. He's got probably some weird cards in there that do something. I mean, they appear to all be running fast mana, so everyone's a good thing to steal from. But there's just got to be a little more upside on someone's deck. I think that CEDH and Greta, Sweet Tooth Scourge, could both have weird cards in their library that I don't want to grab. So Greta is Deadly Rollicking the Dryad Arbor, which means I can get a free hit. I think that I'm happy to hit a lot of people. I am going to hit Sneezy because they haven't played any artifact mana, so that means there's slightly more of it in their deck than in someone else's. I don't know if that's really real, but we'll try. I hit an island. That's fine. For some reason, I have no stop in my second main. Well, that's horrible. Let's hope that doesn't drastically change the course of this game. Not that it would, but it probably did. How weird. I wonder why I had all my stops removed. So I could have had... Okay, I have to play Shields Up. I have a Deflecting Swat I can cast if I need to surprise someone. I'm not sure how much it's going to do. So my opponent's playing the Witch's Vanity. I'm guessing he's going to point it at my Ragavan because he thinks the Ragavan is all I got going on. Or he's going to keep trying to keep Kinnan down. It is pointing at the Ragavan. The question is, do I swat it? I don't think it's worth it. That's a weird one to run. Putting a counter on Greta. All right, I'm just going to go for Commander here because I have to make up some of the ground I've lost on account of passing my last turn for no reason. So let's go blue, white, red, red. All right, got forced. Sully has a Bowmaster's Instep to clean up Kinnan's Llanowar Elves. Goodness gracious, this guy's really keeping the whole table in check. Here comes a Jace the Perfected Mind, a card I did not expect to see, but I also think is in my deck. It's kind of a weird combination of why would I guess it draws 3 cards. All right, coming around to it. Opponent using Jace to mill himself and draw a card. I wonder if this card's going to see more and more play, because it does draw quite a lot of cards. This is another dumb food. This guy just plays a bunch of dumb cards that make foods. I do not know if he's playing a casual deck with fast mana or if there's a combo I just cannot discern. I'm excited to see which one it is. So I accidentally skipped one of my turns, and last turn I tried to power out my commander in the off chance it would do something good for me. I missed the turn to set up my mana, so now I have... Instead of going turn 1, Ragavan, turn 2, set up mana, turn 3, stuff, I went turn 1, Ragavan, turn 2, nothing, turn 3, try my commander too soon. And now I'm going to have to play my setup turn when everyone else has had a setup board. So I took a chance and it did not work at all. Mindbreak Trap's another decent pickup. I am going to play my Contrition turn as previously indicated here, where I, just hope I don't die. Mindbreak Trap is at least something for me to do. I can get my Monolith out. And so this deck, I believe it can claw back into a game with the commander. So hopefully I can do that. That's the plan. And Ranger Captain here gives me, I could play Ranger Captain and I could silence an opponent if I think they're going for a combo. And that keeps me from dying to one of my opponents, but I don't think that makes me win the game. And so sometimes you have to make weird choices to play selfishly because I don't care which one of my 3 opponents wins the game. I'm the only boy that matters. And so I will play to win my game. This guy, Jeweled Amulet, he's playing all the cards I want to play, but I've convinced myself are bad. Because, like, it costs mana to put mana in and only works every other turn. And he's playing Cryptolith right. I mean, that's excellent here, but, like, it feels like it stinks. This kidding guy is living the dream. He's got Dryad Arbor, Cryptolith, and Jeweled Amulet. Cards I wouldn't run, but, like, they seem awesome. Opponent trying to wear down the Jace the Perfected Mind. Okay, so it seems that Kinnan realized how important this Perfected Mind is to how the game plays out. Smart, because he was willing to trade it off for this Bowmasters and decided not to. My CDC opponent is Eternal Witnessing back his, it looks like a Vamp Tutor. Sure. Oh, he's going to be able to draw it with Jace. That's pretty cool. So this will turn on my Mindbreak Trap, which is like, okay, let's hope it does something. Kinnan has one card in hand. This guy is not playing blue, so I think that I'm going to be the first to act, and it's going to be essentially I have the opportunity to stop this or not. So he's content to draw this card on his next turn. He would mill the card. I didn't realize how that worked. Yeah, that stinks. So opponent drew an extra card with the food. CDC here put the point of damage on the Kinnan. I'm not sure if they expect Greta to draw another card. I guess it's the best thing to kill if you're going to kill something. We got a Spider Food on the Arcane Signet. This guy is playing wild stuff. Also, this card is called Spider Food. How silly. Opponent sending 6 commander at me. I think people spread commander damage around because they don't want to be seen as bullying. But I think it's probably correct to try to just run one person to death fast. Because what's the point of, having my life total be slightly lower when you could put Mr. Sneezy at 11 commander damages. Okay, Talisman is fine. So I can play my commander. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. My commander costs 6, so I can play my commander and nothing else, or I can dump my hand. I think I want to dump my whole hand here. So I'm going to go Ranger Captain for... I'm going to tap this for mana. Ranger Captain for... I think I'm going to get Esper Sentinel to draw some cards. We'll see. There might be something better. I don't know this deck very well, so like I am learning what's in the library as I peek at it. It's Esper Sentinel Dragon's Rage. It's gonna be the Sentinel. I need the cards. Let's cast this. And I think I can leave up hard cast Deflecting Swat, which is kind of nice. Not hard cast Mindbreak Trap. So my CDC opponent might be doing something big on his turn because he has a Vampiric Tutor he's drawing from. Hopefully I can redirect whatever the heck to something that doesn't kill me. Kinnan just going for a blind main phase flip. That's unfortunate, but you don't have anything else going on, you might as well. Oh, Consecrated Sphinx is a pretty great hit, actually. About as good as it gets in the situation. Everyone is very excited for him now. Wish I was playing Kinnan. Wish I had a Consecrated Sphinx, Oh, he seems to think it's not the best hit. I think that's a pretty great hit. I don't know what would be better. I mean, I guess Void Winnower is better, but I mean, number one, you didn't whiff. That's a huge advantage. Or huge win. The opponent is casting Doomsday. Okay, all right, sure. I think this is what the CDC thing, that's what, so he says that the Consecrated Sphinx feeds the Orcish Bowmaster, and he's right, it absolutely does. That is a pretty big deal. And so he's opting not to draw the cards, I guess. I don't know what I'd do. I might feed the Bowmaster if I'm honest. It would kill my Kinnan, but like, I think you need the cards. And who cares if the dude's a little bit bigger? Oh, he's killing my fucking Esper Sentinel. What a jerk. He had to let me draw from it though. Heh. One of my opponents. So I could have sacked my Ranger Captain here in response to this Doomsday. I believe that a Jace activation mills 3 cards. That's 3 of the 5. Then he draws a card. He's down to 1 in library, and if he just casts most likely Thassa's Oracle, that's game. I don't know if he needs to put a non-creature on the stack in order to win, and I like my Ranger Captain. I want to keep him. I think he's cool. So I could also redirect an Orcish Bowmaster's trigger, the one that killed my Esper Sentinel, to the Bowmasters, but then that means if my opponent, if CDC doesn't win here, then the Consecrated Sphinx just gets to draw Kinnan a bunch of cards, and like I'm glad that the Bowmasters is gone, but I don't want to deal with a Kinnan that has 1 million cards in his hand. I do have the Mindbreak. I don't think that there's going to be enough spells put on the stack for me to do much here. Let's see. So my opponent has decided what his 5-card library will. Resolving Doomsday is a long process, is what I will say. He's decided what his library will be. Let's see if he just kills us all real quick. Okay, I do. Oh, he doesn't have anything in his hand. I think that I can mess him up by deflecting swatting this. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Yeah, deflect that to me. So I get 3 free cards in my graveyard that could be recast with my Narset if I untap with it. None of those are really that great. I mean, the swords is whatever. If I hit it, I can kill the Bowmasters. But I think I probably just want to go for the combo here. So my opponent did opt to draw with his Consecrated Sphinx here. I think that you should probably just let your Kinnan die and draw 1 million cards. The DC casts a Lion's Eye. He can use the Lion's Eye plus these 2 lands to make his CDC here. Is that what he's doing? Seems like it. I don't want to keep kicking this guy in the nuts. Like, he's the only one I can interact with. So his last card in his library is probably Thassa's Oracle, I would guess. And I don't want him to do that. So I have to... There's also an outside shot. I should have let the Jace resolve and then let him cast the Thassa's Oracle or whatever it's going to be and then just mind break that. But I don't know what he's doing. I mean, we're essentially like... I'm just letting him go off on a different turn, I guess, which isn't great. That's something to think about. I don't know. I also have Cephalid Coliseum. I had this guy covered a lot of ways. I might have been able to keep every card in my hand and just let him go off and then kill him with my Coliseum, which is what I will do next turn if I have the opportunity. My opponent is Noxious Revivaling his Kinnan back to the top of his library in response to his Consecrated Sphinx trigger. Again, I do wish I was just playing Kinnan. That deck is sick. Can you guys see this? This is a pretty cool feature we have going on here. All right, so we've got 2 Bowmaster triggers pointed at my guy. That's fine. I think he's just mad at me, so he's killing my stuff. Or he's pointing triggers at it. I don't think that's... It might do something. I guess maybe his combo piece on his next turn is going to be a non-creature. Who knows? The Bowmasters is pointing that there. I might as well make this player not able to cast non-creatures this turn. So I have very few resources with which to... Yeah, so I didn't have enough cards in my graveyard to activate Coliseum now that I'm thinking about it. So that's okay. I didn't do something stupid. We are really, really feeding this Kinnan player. And so he is going to turn in to the biggest problem any of us have in just a second. This is this new thing. It's Orcust Bowmaster having a hard time. All right, so I'm just going to yield. I have no further actions here. It appears that the Greta player is just playing a combat damage deck. I don't know. There's got to be a combo with this. I just don't know what it is. Okay, my opponent's going to draw 2 of his finest cards here. So Bowmaster's just starting to point triggers at the Consecrated Sphinx. I don't think it's going to do a terrible amount to it. So I have the option here of recasting my commander. If I recast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I recast my commander, I am completely shields down. I don't have the Coliseum up to cause Sully to lose the game if he draws a card. So I think that I don't get to cast my commander here. I'm pretty sure Kinnan is going to kill all of us. So if I leave Coliseum up for making this guy die, I'm not going to win the game on my next turn. Kinnan has 9 cards in his hand and is probably the most dangerous player. So I'm going to hope... I don't have anything to answer Kinnan. I have a mental misstep, so whatever that does. I'm gonna think that perhaps ignoring Kinnan, that ignoring this guy and hoping Kinnan can deal with him is the play that leads me to win the game. Because I don't think I have any other ways of doing that. And do I play my Lotus Petal here? I can give her an extra power on my next attack. It lets me get a Deadly Rollick. I don't think that's good enough. I'm going to play it just in case. I don't even know what could happen. But if something happens, I'm ready. I have Lotus Petal ready to go. My opponent's playing Kinnan for 4 mana, I believe, which is weird because I thought they put it on top of their library and then drew it. Maybe they elected to put it back into the command zone instead of tucking it. How weird. Okay, sure. Kinnan, or Consecrated Sphinx, is taking down the Jace, it looks like. So my opponent has a slightly harder time comboing on their turn. And also Kinnan has 9 cards in hand. Please God, tell me you can do something. 9 cards. No lands? Not a 1? All right. I don't know what happened on that turn. I wonder why. Oh, he was discarded. He discarded Regrowth and Island. Maybe he already played a land and I was just wrong. Oh, he did. He played the Citadel. All right, my bad. Okay. All right, let's see if a Kinnan player with 9 cards in hand can defeat a man with 1 in hand and 3 in library. This Orc army is big enough to mess up someone's day also. So Sully, no attacks. Looks like he's willing to just wait a few turns. In Search of Greatness. Okay, this guy continues playing his casual commander deck to great effect somehow. Sending in the commander at Sneezy, who is going to go to 17 points of commander if he takes this. So if my opponent had attacked Sneezy consistently, he would have 17 commander or maybe 16 commander here, and he'd have to trade off his Kinnan to keep from dying. And so, like, that's why you don't spread the damage around. You kind of just beat one guy to death. Okay, I somehow have gotten to my own turn. I do not know what the best card to cast in a graveyard is for me. Like, I don't have very much. I have a swords, I guess. Hopefully I just draw something great here. All right, so my opponent's going to draw 2. Let's see where the Orcish Bowmaster places his triggers. My opponent elected not to draw. Okay, so my opponent's telling me to draw some cards so he can kill Kinnan. And I think he's trying to be a tricky little so-and-so on me and keep me from killing him with the Cephalid Coliseum. So I have the option here to attack Kinnan and swords his creature. But if he has a spell of any kind, he's probably got a counterspell because he's got a million cards in his hand. So I'm going to attack Kinnan, swords his Kinnan. That's the plan, I think. I'm going to attack and swords Kinnan. And then I can make my opponent, Sully, or the CEDH player, draw with my Coliseum to kill him. So I'm going to attack I don't think this guy is threatening actual lethal damage on me. And we're going to cast this Swords to Plowshares. I guess I could have cast a different spell, like not one of mine, because I would have kept it in my graveyard, because there was I guess I couldn't cast a Deadly Relic, never mind. So let's cast this copy, targeting Kinnan. My opponent's graveyards all stink. I could Doomsday. I just don't think I have a 5-card Doomsday pile that wins the game in this deck. Yeah, I still have to pass the turn. There's no way I have a... Okay, so this is a mental misstep here. I, too, am going to mental misstep. Right back at you, pal. So there is a 5-card pile that wins the game. Most likely it's a Jace Perfected Mind, but I have no way of drawing it, so I'm going to have to pass the turn and hope that none of my opponents get it together and kill me back. Kinnan is letting mental misstep resolve, but they may just have another counterspell of some sort. So if I Coliseum myself, Kinnan draws 6 cards, and then I can try to get a win together somehow. I just don't think that's very good at all. I'm going to second main this Mana Vault just in case someone wheels or something. I guess no one in this table can play Wheel of Fortune except for me. All right, that's not going to happen, so we don't have to worry about it. So this person is Born Upon a Wind, which means it gives his spells flash this turn and he draws a card. Okay, good start. Kinnan is going to choose to draw 2 cards from that. So I have the CEDH player ostensibly dead. I do not know if he has both. I mean, he has 1 card in hand. I don't think he can get to more than 1 card in hand given the nature of his Doomsday pile that he did not foresee me interacting with. So both of these triggers are pointed at Sneezy himself. Okay, so it seems like he's going to try and kill that person. So I'm going to let this... He has a spell effect that lets him cast instants and sorceries as though they had flash. I think if I try to mill him out here, he can probably try something to win, so I think it's safer to not do anything. And his Orc army is threatening to kill Sneezy, which is pretty good, because we need that Consecrated Sphinx off the board. Carried is a good sign. It means it's a blocker. I guess he just doesn't have too much going on. So CEDH is drawing the 4th card in their library, which is the card they would have drawn if Jace had successfully milled them on their combo turn. So I believe he's going to try to do something this turn because he has the card that would do it. Or he hasn't. This is still someone's end step, but in a second, I think that's what's going to happen. Okay, on CEDH's upkeep, Kinnan is going for a Blue Suns for X = 1, and he's having the CEDH player draw one of the 2 cards in their library, which they're going to draw their 2nd card during their draw step. I'm not 100% sure. It's giving him an extra Consecrated Sphinx draw. So the CEDH player has now drawn the last card in their library. They have 3 cards in their hand. Let's see what this guy does. So here comes an Oracle. I can pass priority on the Oracle to see if Sneezy has a counterspell for it. Sneezy passed priority on I'm sorry, not Sneezy. Kinnan passed priority on the Oracle as well. So now we have the Oracle trigger on the stack. Let's see what happens if I do that. Okay, so somehow my opponent was not aware of the Coliseum. Okay, great. So a lot of people don't realize that Coliseum does incidentally prevent you from losing games sometimes. So it's unfortunate that I had to kill him here because I really would have liked him to kill at least one of Kinnan's blockers with his Orc army on that attack. Okay, so now I have... this guy, I don't know if he can't kill me. Parallel Lives is going to make a bunch of tokens. So this guy is close to getting something together. There's no way of killing the Carried. So it seems as if Kinnan's going to get another turn. Sylvan Library out of Greta is also fine. I just need good cards in your graveyards, guys. Give me some. 2nd Cryptolith, right? I didn't think I'd see those to this. If he does this, I don't know about that. Huh. Where's the attack going? Pointing it at Sneezy. Yep. He's gonna have to give up the Carried or lose the game. I think he's gonna pick to give up the Carried. I keep checking graveyards, hoping there's like a better card for me to get. I might have to get Spider Food and kill the Consecrated Sphinx here. I don't know if that does enough because he can probably go off on his next turn with just the Kinnan. Gosh, imagine getting Spider Food with your Narset and Enlightened Exile. Also, if I draw, I guess, anything that puts Underworld Breach in my hand or graveyard, I instantly win. Do I have mana? 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 mana. I can't untap my Grim Monolith. That's okay. Brain Freeze is pretty great. I guess it only mills 3 cards. My Kinnan opponent has 10 cards in hand. I have no effects. I am just... So I can cast Spider Food to kill his flyer, make a token. But then he gets to untap, slam Kinnan with 10 cards in hand, and maybe just kill everybody. If I Brain Freeze myself, I could hit something good, and I think that's the line I'm going to take. This Kinnan deck appears to be weird in some ways. I don't know what he could have. There's so many things that just kill me. I'm going to Brain Freeze myself. And I can always, I can still Spider Food if I need to, but I do get to see what happens when I Brain Freeze first. I have the option now of Spider Fooding or Deadly Rollicking. I think I'd Spider Food because I want the extra, what's it called? All right, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to Faithless Looting here. So let's go 1, red, 1, and that just mills 2, essentially. Gosh, this guy draws so many cards. I think I'm going to be the greedy little dude here, and I'm going to cast Final Fortune and see if I can't take an extra turn and then kill my opponent. So Final Fortune resolved. This guy is going to get to draw so many cards. I have to beat 15 cards in hand with whatever this guy does. I might be making a ton of just errors. So let's start by Otherworldly Gazing. It costs 2. So I'm just looking for an Underworld Breach. And I do actually kind of want this back negation in my hand, so I'm going to put this on my library. I am going to have to beat 16 cards. 16 cards and no mana. So maybe there's a force in there. Let's see what we get. So again, I'm kind of in a bad way. So I'm almost out of ways out of this game. It's going to have to be, I guess I get to kill Sneezy here. That's pretty cool. It's going to have to be, I brain freeze into, I just handed this game to the God bless the Greta Sweet Tooth Scourge player who just like attacked a bunch and did his thing. So this is now exiled. I might not be able to win the game anymore. I'm kind of having brain frozen this early. But if I hit, I think it has to be Sevin's now. I'm really, really narrow on my outs right now. Last chance for Sevin's Reclamation. Oh my God, I hit it. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Sevin's, but I know that I now have it. So I have to cobble together a combo. I have to cobble together a combo with a Sevin's Reclamation. Wow, this is wild. Okay, so now it's a 2-player game of Magic. I have my graveyard, and I can cast Sevin's Reclamation. Gosh, what can I get? Absolutely nothing that helps. Man, oh man. Okay, so I am going to die to my Final Fortune trigger. Oh boy, what a silly game. Okay, well, I got lucky, hit the Sevin's, and then I just didn't have anything to do with it. So now, congrats to Greta Sweet Tooth Scourge, confirmed best deck in format. Good God. Found another game. We're playing against Traxa, most likely a food chain pile, Jessica Ishai. This is the guy who was playing Greta in the last round, who won, and then Oloro over here. I just did a bunch of pull-ups, so I'm breathing heavy. I have a hand that has a small amount of things to do, no redraws, but Smothering Tithe is excellent. I don't think I can keep this hand. I don't think I can keep this hand. This hand has another Smothering Tithe. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. So I get to, I'm going to turn one Enlightened Tutor for, what's the good one? Mana Crypt. I just think Mana Crypts. Gosh. Do I just go for the combo? I don't know. So I have a very land-heavy hand. This probably could have been a mulligan pretty safely. I have a land-heavy hand that either lets me power out a Smothering Tithe or just try to go for the combo. So if I Enlighten Tutor for Jeweled Lotus, I cannot turn 2. I'm also 4th in turn order. So we'll see how fast the starts are at everyone else. This is a complicated question I have to answer because I can either go to try to play a mid-rangey game with Smothering Tithe or something else, or I can try to combo out just as fast as I can. Because Elspeth's kind of neat, or not Elspeth, Narset's kind of neat, because I can Enlighten Tutor for something to cast Narset, and then when I attack with Narset, I can recast the Enlightened Tutor to get whatever the hell else, another combo piece or something. That's actually kind of cool. A turn 1 Ishai is a problem. I will have to deal with this forever. Yep. This gamble's quite interesting because I can go get, I guess I can't really force anything right now. I think I'm happy enough to hang back and Enlighten Tutor on an end step. I can keep up an offer I can't refuse in case I need something. In Kennen, if you an offer you can't refuse one of your own spells, it goes mana positive because the treasures both make 2 mana. So it's kind of a weird dark ritual if you do that to one of your things. Kennen is something I miss. I miss like, okay, Enlightened Tutor out of Smoothest Brain. We're going to see what he does because I'm assuming he's great at CEDH. And whatever he gets is probably also correct for me to get, assuming I have the card in my library. If it's not Food Chain. See, Mana Crypt, that's what I was going to get to. Okay, correct. We're both right there. So I wonder what he's keeping up because he got the Mana Crypt for a reason. And he just passed with 4 mana? Very suspicious. A Workshop, how exciting. You rarely see these played. Sword of Truth and Justice? Sure. Let's see who Ishai thinks the threat is. Apparently the Oloro player's got to start getting knocked down a couple pegs. Is it just Esper gain 2 life? When I first started playing Commander in like 2012, all of the guys I played with are losing their minds over Oloro because it wasn't the same format it is now. But I think it's Esper just gain 2 life a bunch. Oh, I guess if you cast it, it doesn't think Maze of Ith. Dude, what a blowout against my combat damage pro blue Ishai opponent. I too am going to go the route of Misty Rainforest for I guess not Misty Rainforest, Enlightened Tutor for Mana Crypt. Let me look at the library. I'm going to check it out, make sure there's nothing I want more. I believe there's nothing I want more than Mana Crypt, so I'm going to grab it. I was legitimately excited when I drew that Mana Crypt. How silly. All right, so we're just feeding Ishai. He's going to be making the biggest man in the world. So I have to be a little bit careful here. 5. I may have just walked myself right out of this game, because if my opponent has a red source, they can Jessica. I guess I have to hope they give me a mana so I can counter the Jessica here. Because the Ishai will kill someone. If they play the Jessica, they'll give it triple damage, and then they'll do 21 commander damage to a player in one fell swoop. And that I don't have any creatures. I don't have a Maze of Ith. I think I'm dead. So I have to see if I can somehow get a mana and then an offer I can't refuse. Well, that's game. Smoothest Brain is killing me. Oh, I now have a flying blocker though, so I get another turn. That's fine. So I do wonder if Smoothest Brain has realized that Ishai is presenting lethal. Oh, they need some sort of weird mana combination because the Mishra's Workshop won't tap for Jessica. Okay, I guess I could have hung out for another turn. I do get to slam my Narset on my next turn, which is pretty cool. Equipping his Ishai. It is now a very large bird. One of my biggest fears, honest to God. Ishai, does he have arms? His arms are wings. They do have hands, but he holds a staff in his feet. That's why he's so good at fighting. Attacking me? Dude, come on. You could have been cool this turn. Just because I put Smothering Tithe on the stack, now everyone's upset. I also can't block it. So I am going to die on this guy's next turn. It seems like this game is coming down to a race between me and Skippity here. And I don't know the deck well enough to make it go fast. So I could gamble. Like if I'm hypothetically, I need another red source. I need to draw like Lotus Petal or something. But I could gamble. That's way too many red manas. I can't even do that. I don't know what to do. I think I'm just in a bind here. And I think this guy just loves combat damage decks. And he's proven that sometimes if your opponents get too silly, you just attack him for 11. You attack him? Yeah, sure. Arcane Signet, Preordain, okay. The Aloro opponent is insulated against this Ishai. I do not think Ishai can kill Aloro without, who plays Wasteland? I guess they play, you don't play Boseiju and Esper. So he kind of has that covered. I wonder if he kills me or if he spreads damage around. Because I think it's correct to kill a player as fast as you can. Angel's Grace is pretty swell. I'm kind of choked on colored mana at the moment. So I don't think there's anything I can even gamble for here that'll work out. So I'm just going to play this. I'm going to pay life because I don't think that I'm going to take 28. I think I'm going to take commander damage and die. So I'm going to have to Angel's Grace on this guy's turn to not die. It stinks because every turn I'm not casting the Narset, I'm kicking it one turn further down the road than I'm actually going to be able to win the game. And so that's too bad. No attacks for me, thanks. I guess I could. Everyone's at really high life. I don't think it matters. Archivist of Ogma is fine. I'm not searching anything here. Atraxa is just passing. Let's see if Ishai decides to kill me or someone else. I got a little trick up my sleeve if he does. I will go to 1, though. No, I won't go to 1. I wonder if I'll still die due to state-based effects on my next turn. That's an interesting question, because I think I still will have commander damage marked on me. He's attacking Smoothest Brain. I think he should probably kill me, dog. I'm also very curious as to how this Angel's Grace interacts with this, and so I'd like to know. So he puts 14 commander damage on Smoothest Brain and passes, or on Atraxa and passes. Black Market Connections out of Aloro. I do not think I care. That's correct, I do not care. Okay. Angel's Grace, I probably should not have left up Angel's Grace that turn, because I don't know if it does anything. Someone in the comments told me, is Angel's Grace, do you still die from commander damage when it turns into someone else's turn? Because I think you would. Is there a Tabernacle in play? Okay. How weird. All right, I'm going to let this Tabernacle kill my bird, because I don't know what else it's going to do. Mox Opal is fine. Okay, so I'm going to play this Narset here and leave up Angel's Grace. I don't know if my opponent doesn't think I'm a threat, and so they haven't been abusing me or haven't killed me. Hopefully he decides to kill Smoothest Brain here, but he's getting close to just, he can kill whoever he chooses to on his turn, I guess I should say. So Atraxa going for their commander. I think they only have 2 cards in hand, so I think it might be a sign of them not having much else going on, because you probably wouldn't, because the Atraxa can't block the Ishai. So Ishai this is one of the weird things about Commander, is sometimes you just get to pick who loses, because, Ishai does have 6 cards in hand. Maybe they just can do whatever they want to. Maybe they're winning this game by a lot and I haven't realized it. They are short on mana though. So Atraxa took Mox Diamond, Mana Drain, Mnemonic Betrayal, Ancient Tomb, Phyrexian Metamorph. I don't know if any of these get him out of the problem. Get him out of his bind, I should say. No, I don't think they do. Ishai cycles a Shark Typhoon. This guy hasn't had much going on aside from his, one-hit kill creature. this whole game. Kind of stuck on mana, I guess. So let's see who he kills. I have the anxiety, or the anticipation is killing me. So he's killing Smoothest Brain. Whew. Okay, so I don't think my Angel's Grace would have saved me, but gosh. So my opponent's saying he doesn't have the Deadly Relic there to keep him in the game. He did take 35 commander damage, which is, I will say, the most I've ever seen anyone take. So I think on my turn, I can go gamble for Breach. If I discard Breach, I attack, cast Breach for free, then gamble again for Brain Freeze, and then Brain Freeze. And the thing here is I'm going to get really, really lucky, and I'm going to hit Lion's Eye Diamond instantly. But it's 1, 2, 3. I have 12 copies to hit a 0 mana rock of some sort. And I can Brain Freeze again because I do have a ton of mana. I think that's the right play. Assuming Skippity Jones over here. So I've got Gamble, Underworld Breach. Let's assume I have an offer you can't refuse. And then Brain Freeze. So I'm actually very short on mana. I thought I had a lot, didn't have just enough. This Ishai is going to instantly kill me on my next turn. So I do have to get something together fast. Sure. I mean, who cares how big the Ishai is now? It's over 21. Whatever. Okay. So it's a Ghostly Prison. The Aloro player is going completely shields up here. So I'm going to die, and then these two guys are going to be playing a long slugfest, it looks like. Necro is pretty great. So I could counter the Necro here, but I do know for an absolute fact I am dead on my next turn to this Ishai, so I'd rather keep my counterspell in my hand. I think I'm going to pay for my Narset with a Mana Crypt, because I think I'm going to need all my colored mana sources more than I will need my colorless. So let's see what I hit. Scalding Tarn is another colored source, which is nice. I'm going to gamble here. I'm going to take a look in the old library, see what I can get. I think it has to start with Underworld Breach, so I'm going to get Underworld Breach because I don't know what else I get. And I got to keep it in my hand. I discarded my counterspell, which is notable. So let's start. Before I keep milling myself, sorry, I'm itching my foot. Bad audio, bad video. I'm going to go get my land out so I don't actually mill it. So I'm going to cast the Breach here. In case someone counters it, I can attack with my Narset and cast it again. Sure, Plateau. Underworld Breach. So I can gamble again and go get Lion's Eye. I guess I should get Brain Freeze here. I could get Brain Freeze. I could also get Wheel of Fortune and then attack into a wheel, which I don't super duper like because my opponents haven't cast a counterspell so far. I could also get the One Ring. Okay, let's get the One Ring. That's probably better. Okay, so now I can attack and grab the One Ring out of my graveyard, which is just outstanding. How lucky. So it's coming up now that it will prevent me from having from dying to combat damage on this next turn, and it'll draw me a bunch of cards. And then the Underworld Breach will end up in my graveyard, and I can kind of start going off again with my Narset, which if this resolves, outstanding. What absolute luck. Okay. Great. I don't know. I guess I can draw now. I don't know if there's anything that kickstarts my combo again, but if there is, I'd like to have it in my hand. Mana Confluence is not that, but I got it. Okay, this also turns on my Mox Opal, which is just huge. This deck is impossible to play because you have such an absolutely insane number of lines you can take. It drives me absolute nuts. Yeah, that'll kill me. So Drannith Magistrate is one of the worst possible cards for me here. Huge problem, I'm going to die. I do have a lot of draws to find a way to kill a Drannith Magistrate though. I don't know how much Aloro can do. I've kind of just been thinking he's going to wait this game out as long as he can. But they have spells that win the game, so. My opponent appears to be targeting himself. He's targeting himself with his Cataxian Probe, which is strange. I do. Please, I'm almost done. Blind Obedience does put a damper on whatever I'm going to be doing. So this guy just keeps putting can't effects on the board. And now he's gonna Necro. I'm going to go ahead and let him do that. Opponent drew up to 12 with Necro and is now discarding a bunch of lands and mana rocks. So they got nothing but action in their hand. I have one turn to not die to this Ishai. I am going to, even if I do, if he somehow stops me, if I don't get this Drannith Magistrate off the board, I am still going to cast my Angel's Grace just to see what happens, because I am a curious little fellow. Going to use Plateau to play for Tabernacle, because Plateau is the worst land. Nice to use it first. So let's see what I draw. I have 3 draws to get this Drannith off the board. If I kill the Drannith... Okay, all right, so that does do it. Let's see if I can figure out how to, because I have to get around this Blind Obedience too. Okay, so my opponent surely has counterspells in their hand. I could opt to keep playing this game. So I can attack with my Narset, cast my Underworld. I have to cast with my attack with my Narset, trigger my Underworld Breach, trigger her to cast Underworld Breach, then respond by dressing down to exile the Drannith Magistrate, then soul partition the blind obedience, then have the best time of my life. Alternatively, I could just dress down and then exile the Ishai. Hi, Kit. What's going on?
Not much. I think someone...
The question is, do I go for it? I have the line, but my opponent has really, really shaped his hand. He's got 5 mana up. I don't think it gets better for me from here. Also, I've been playing this game for a really, really long time. Yeah. I don't think I win this game, though. I think this guy has a counterspell for certain. Certainly he has a counterspell. But if I dress down and then soul partition this, or soul partition the Ishai to keep myself from dying to it in another turn, I'm basically just guaranteeing that I have to draw an answer to the Drannith on my next turn, which is just even harder to do. So let's see if I can win this game. So I'm going to attack Skippity Jones. I'm going to target Underworld Breach. I'm going to hold control so I don't accidentally pass priority. So that's there. Then I'm going to dress down. So as usual in Commander, I do not think I can keep playing the game, but I'll have to do it through a Drannith Magistrate, and I don't think I have a better chance of winning than I do right now. So a disallow out of Oloro. I'm going to Pact of Negation that. The Jeska Ishai player hasn't done much this game. We'll see if they have an answer to what I'm doing here. Second counterspell.
Jared, I'm going to...
Give us just a second.
Just a second, because he's doing a video, and then I'll just start. Do you have right now in the 5K shift sorts? Like, you know, where it's sorting foil, non-foil? Do you have...
I mean, we have like 3 boxes full, and the one that has priority isn't done yet. So.
Okay, you can always start on 5K.
So I'm going to soul partition this Ishai in the hopes of not dying on the next turn.
Keep that, like, however it has right now. Sorry, I'm kind of...
No, it's alright, man. I got you.
I have the ring to draw 4 cards on the next turn. So hopefully I can make it through one more turn of this mess. Okay, and so on my next turn, I will still have Soul Partition in the graveyard. Or not Soul Partition, I'm sorry. I'll still have Underworld Breach and Gamble in the graveyard, which means I can go for... I guess I kind of just played into the thing that I thought would kill me no matter what I did, which is my opponent still has a Drannith Magistrate, but I do have a number of draws to get it off the board. Ishai player going with an Ickermoon Gauntlet and a Sword of Truth and Justice, which means I have fewer ways of answering this Drannith Magistrate.
I'm going to take the mouse, Steven. This machine...
I'm sorry. Opponent attacking. Sarah Sanctum makes infinity mana here. Smothering Tide is... This guy's lock keeps getting better, so I don't know if I can beat... Good God. I don't know how I'm going to win this game. So opponent's necroing, or Oloro is necroing up to 9 cards. I don't even think I've seen a free counterspell out of him, so I'm going to have to beat some pretty good stuff on my turn. I do get to draw several cards with my One Ring, which is great. It is getting close to killing me, though. I almost clicked no on that. I made the mana, and then it unmade the mana and asked me to pay, and I almost clicked no. Whew. So I am close to dead. 1 attack plus a mana ring, or a mana crypt and a One Ring are gonna... I lost Flip down to 12. I am not going to pay, so he gets to make his treasure. I think my outs here, I need to draw like a Force of Will, a blue card, and a Cyclonic Rift. Okay, so Portable Hole is an answer to Drannith Magistrate that has protection from white. Haha, just kidding. Let's see if my opponent lets me cast this Ranger Captain. Oh, I almost clicked the wrong card. Whew, I did click the wrong card. Crap! Okay, well that was a misclick that's going to cost me. So the Portable Hole, or the Blind Obedience will cost me if I ever start breaching off, which is my only line through this game. And if I go the Ranger Captain, let's see if I can get that through his... I might have to Angel's Grace on my next upkeep to not lose the game. So I'm going to try and draw some cards with this Esper Sentinel. I'm just going to keep paying life with the understanding that I am going to Angel's Grace on my next upkeep to prevent myself from dying.
And like they actually have like a little cool thing where you can like...
All right, Grinding Station with my extra mana, and then I'm going to slam this Ragavan because I'm just going to keep playing stuff, you know? I don't want to sack an artifact here. I do have the ability to grind away my One Ring if I think that losing 3 life is worse than drawing 4 cards, which I don't. I do not think that is the case. No good attacks on account of everything going on in this game. On my turn, I can upkeep the Ranger Captain to give myself insulation, and then my opponent will have to choose to kill my Narset before I get going. If they do kill my Narset, that's probably good enough to make me die, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I could be grinding my stuff away. I do not know if there's anything to gain from this. So Jeska can make Drannith do triple damage to me. I do have the Ragavan to block with, fortunately. These triggered ability stacks are just going back and forth constantly. I draw a card, he makes a treasure, it untaps my grinding station. Good God. So he's having Jeska do damage to my Ragavan and my Esper Sentinel. That is awful, but fine. What am I going to do? I think he's just going to try to attack me down to 6. No attacks. Okay. My wife has shown up and is now the star of the show. This guy is a toxic idiot, and he's casting on Ish's turn. He's going to try to exile my Angel Captain. That was kind of my way through my next turn against an opponent who has a Necro active. And I mean, I might as well sack him, because what else is going to happen, you know? So now my outs to this are substantially reduced. We're going to play a 53,000 turn game with with Aloro, where he just kind of is in control of the whole game, is how I think this ends. Get another opportunity to untap my grinding station. Perfect. I do not think we can realistically kill the Aloro player at this point, because he's going to have so many shields up. He has authority of the consoles, sure. And I'm just kind of looking at the turn stretching out in front of us. I can, if I lose my flip, if I win my flip this turn, I can wait another turn to Angel's Grace for my One Ring, and then I can probably grind away my thing to give myself 2 more turns. But I don't think things are getting better. I think the person with the Necropotence, the Aloro, and the 30 permanents is probably just going to run away with this game. The Aloro player exiles 7 cards in Necropotence. I think he's trying to get ready for the fight on my turn. I can keep kicking this can down the road. I just don't know where I'm going to end up. Does Narset get around Drannith Magistrate because it's casting copies? God, I'd feel silly if I just found that out right now. All right, so we're going to do the Mana Crypt flip first, so I discover whether or not I need to Angel's Grace before the One Ring. I guess I don't even need to. All right, I lost the flip. Going down to how much life here? 6. And then I'm going to lose 3 down to 3. I got it, I'm fine. I'm just gonna Angel Grace on my next turn. Dockside is fine. All my treasures come in tapped, but I can do that. So I can still keep going with this thing.
I can just go get it if you need your card.
So I'm gonna start here with a Dockside Extortionist. If this resolves, I get to kill, at the very least, Ox Torn, or get to kill the Aloro player by grinding all the treasures away. If it doesn't resolve, I get to try for an Arcane or a Cyclonic Rift here to bounce everything to everyone's hands. Okay, so I have a million grinding station triggers. I am going to mill out my Stacks opponent, and I'm not going to say anything while I do it because this is going to be 1,000 million clicks. Okay, my opponents have decided they have seen enough of me clicking through this. I somehow won this mess of a game. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.